Okay, today I'd like to get into something called thought pattern dissection for self-actualization and how you can use this process to regain control of your thinking. So, with thought pattern dissection, what you have to do is analyze your thoughts. If you have a specific thought, go deeper. Think, where did this thought come from? Who instilled this thought that dictated this behavior? Why are the certain emotions that I'm having associated with it so drastic, so clear, so prevalent? So when you take your thoughts and you take your thought process and you dissect it and realize where the thought came from, now you have a choice. You can continue thinking that way, or you can do something different. If you should so choose to continue thinking that way because you consider the source of the thought, who instilled this thought in you, you consider the group associated or the psychological profile associated with this thought, and look at the general understanding, the general analysis of how they live everyday life, you now have a decision that you can make to think for yourself. And if you should so choose to think differently and do things differently, from what I hear from neurological standards, it only takes 21 days to create a new neural pathway. It's only 21 days of every time that thought or thought process comes up, telling your mind and your brain to do something different. And you can do this by changing your course of action, changing your thought pattern by saying, no, that's not what I want to think right now. This is where I want my mind to go. You can literally formulate and construct your own neural pathway, your own neural network. Doing this process for a while with every thought you think and every emotion you have and every course of action you take due to these thoughts that manifest in your hardwiring of your brain, you can actively start to, instead of playing an observer role with such things like, okay, well, I don't have a lot of money, so I'm going to ask somebody, and somebody eventually will give it to me. Instead of thinking that way, why don't you think instead of that, what can I do today to make some extra money? What can I research? How can I create an income stream? And so you never have to be in a lack mindset again. You'll learn how to produce for yourself instead of going outward and asking others. Just that state of being alone can take you from a state of lack to abundance. This is an emotional state. This is a neural state. This is an energetic state. See, that's the thing. And, I think Richard Pryor said it best. I'm not afraid to burn bridges. I'll do it while I'm standing on them because I know how to swim. I know how to swim. So, do you want to have the mindset of, give me some floaties, or do you want to have the mindset of, teach me to swim so I can better my life? These are two different mentalities, two different entire modes and methods of thinking. And it's never a bad thing to do the work. It's never a bad thing to realize these things. It's never a bad thing to dissect your own thoughts and your own thought patterns and learn where they're from to see if that aligns with you or not. It's never bad to think for yourself and build your own internal mental structure and foundation. And you can do it with simple things. Doing something different. Staying consistent and doing something different. This is not complicated, actually. This just takes consistency. This just takes doing something different over and over again to get a different result, instead of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, which is by definition of insanity. So, if you want to stay in a state of insanity, and you want to stay in a state of lack, and you want to stay in a state of, well, everybody's doing it, so I'm doing it, even though I don't really like it because I don't want to be ostracized. And you want to get some confidence, some clarity, some foundation, some structure, some intelligence, and alter your entire life You can do this through simple actions. Changing what you do by changing how you think. And this can become a conscious act, and you can be a conscious co-creator of your own internal hardware. So, I hope for you, those of you that are out there, this made sense. I know it's not going to make sense for everybody, and some people are going to scoff and say whatever, but that's not really my target audience on this one, so I'm not too concerned. Have a good day.